till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. I didn't intend to start this way, it's just what we shared. And so do me a favor, don't need to be repetitive, but close your eyes. Just you and God, be here in this holy, beautiful church. And just for a minute, just you and Jesus. See Jesus right in front of you. Because it is that gaze that gives you worth. It is that gaze, Christ's gaze into your eyes, that you can see that you were created to be who you are. And that you are infinitely valuable. Not because you are successful at something, not because you're strong or pretty or athletic or whatever you think is that gauge of success, but because you are. You're dignity because you are made in the image and likeness of God. That's literally one of the most significant lines of all of Scripture happens in the first chapter of Genesis. That God breathed life into us. And it says, male and female, he created them in his own image. He created them. You are truly and genuinely a reflection of God in your very being. And just if you're willing, once again, just open your hands right where you are. And with your eyes closed, your hands open, recognize that as Father said, Jesus is truly gazing at you, and you can gaze back at him in your heart right now. For I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You've been so good to me. For I took a breath, you breathed your life into me. You have been so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. You can open your eyes. It is an honor to be here with you. If you've been to many conferences like this, typically when you break up into men's and women's sessions, then a woman speaker would talk to the women, about makeup and clothes and sex and stuff. I'm not going to talk about any of that. All right, so, I think makeup is, it is. Okay, let's go. But you know what I think is so powerful that I really, I had no idea what I was going to share, but I know it was on my heart. I prayed for you. Of all the things that I'm going to do, and this is just 27 more minutes, but I literally prayed for this more than anything because I wanted this time to be meaningful for you. And it struck me what I heard, at least part of what I heard her she had to share, and what I prayed about on the plane on the way here, is that it doesn't matter if you're a guy or girl, who you are, or what your struggles are. Ultimately, most of the things that we think of as sin that are hurtful to us, sin or not, they're symptoms of a deeper problem. They're symptoms of do we recognize that we are children of the Father, that you are a daughter of the Father, and you are beloved, and you are made to be who you are. And anything that tells you different, that's just the devil whispering in your ear. I have a daughter, she's grown now, she's 30 years old, which is a miracle because I'm only 27. And so, how did that happen, right? I'm a grandfather, I'm only 27. And so, she has 2 children. I'll show you pictures, ask me later. We have a screen I'll show you, but I'll show you. They're at my house right now, which is why my wife isn't here, because we are watching grandchildren, and they are so much more fun when I'm not in charge. And they're just beautiful, and So I look at my 4-year-old granddaughter, and I remember when my daughter was that age. Like, I remember when my daughter was just 4, you don't go to school yet. You just like go wherever mom and dad go and sit in the car seat. And so my daughter she had the greatest fear in her life. Like, she got off on the wrong foot and never got it right. Okay, so I'm joking, but do you know what scared her more than anything in the whole wide world when she was 4? It makes no sense. Was the car wash. Okay, the car wash was the single most horrifying thing in her existence. And so I tried very hard never to wash the car when she was in it because it was a miserable 2 minutes, right? It was decibel, eardrum splitting screaming. She thought that those brushes were like a giant monster eating us alive. And when you think about it, it does kind of look like that. It was so it comes down. Do you notice? You may not, I don't know what it's like when you live, but if you drive a car to a car wash, a lot of times now, the soap is all rainbow color and stuff, I think that's because of kids like mine, and they're like trying to convince you this is not scary. So one day I just forgot, and we pulled into the car wash, and this particular one is one of those where you kind of punch in the code, and then you put the car in neutral, and you just sit there, and it drags you through. So I punch in the numbers, and I wait, and right when it's too late to really remember, this is not a good idea, my little 4-year-old daughter in the back goes, Daddy, where are we? Right, big problem. Okay, so then I do that thing that you do when you're babysitting and the kid, it's time to go to bed, but you don't want to tell them that. It's like, are we going to bed? No, we're just going to lay down for a minute. All right, so I did that. Where are we? And I said, well, you know how baths are your very favorite thing, right? Guess what? Today is such a cool and special day because the car gets to take a bath today, right? Wasn't that smart? That was good. It didn't work, but it was good, right? I said that. It just took her about 3 seconds to realize that is just daddy code for car wash. And when that thing sucked us in, she started screaming like, so I knew what to do. I unbuckled her, and I thought, well, I'll hold her, and she will be okay. She was not okay. Now, she's just 3 inches from my face. I should just walk her back up, and this was quieter, so I'm trying to get her to calm down. And just before I completely give up, and I'm trying to explain, look, it's just soap and brushes, it's not scary. She grabs my face in her little 4-year-old fingers, and she goes, Daddy, just look at me. Right? So I look at her, and she stops crying. Miracle of God. And so, because I'm a dad and we tend to use words that we don't need, I decided to explain it to her. Look, see, it's not scary. No, Daddy, just look at me. So the second time I totally got it, right? She was not saying, hey, Dad, take a look at me. She was saying, Daddy, look at me. Like, look at me. Like, as long as I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, I can tell that everything is okay. Right? I know you want to do it, just do it. See, they wanted to do it, right? It was so, if there were ever guys who never will have to do it, it's just the creepiest thing. It's just doesn't sound right. And for 2 minutes, we drove through the car wash, nose to nose, eyeball to eyeball, not saying anything, And when she got married a few years ago, I'm walking her down the aisle, and while I'm walking my daughter down the aisle, I'm remembering being eyeball to eyeball with that little 4-year-old her, and just looking at her and knowing that I can look in her eyes, and in that very gaze, she knows that everything is okay. And, I don't have to tell you that life is a lot more complicated, right? And no matter how much your mom or your dad loves you, you can't, and they can't always make things better just by looking at you, And you can be doing the very best you can, and still things don't turn out the way you like, and things are still sometimes overwhelming and bigger than you, and people do things to you that you don't deserve. But ultimately, at the root of all those things, I think what helps us to survive or not is where we place our worth. We'll talk about it in 2 different ways, but where do we place our worth? And are you willing to place your worth in the gaze of a loving Father, and let God be God, no matter what, let God be God. And I want to sing you my favorite part of this song, because it goes, no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No one won't kick down, light won't tear down, coming after me. Sing it, you know. No shadow won't light up, mountain won't climb up, coming after me. No one won't kick down, light won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, chases me down, guides till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. My favorite line in that whole song is "No lie you won't tear down, coming after me." That's my favorite line in the whole song. It's a beautiful song. I love to sing it, but no shadow you won't light up, no mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, no lie you won't tear down, coming after me. And you know, it feels like a deep dive from the very start. I don't have any joke to get started or anything, but it's like you're already more than halfway through this week, and so just telling you pointedly, really, the God that we worship in adoration, the God that we receive in Eucharist at Mass, the God who we praise when we come in with all the candles and all that, is not a God of, there used to be this song, from a distance, the world. I hate that song. Okay, I hate that song. For a couple of reasons. First of all, that's Bette Midler, and she doesn't really sing, she kind of talks. And, but anyway, but the other thing I don't like about that song is that the whole song says, God is watching us from a distance, you know? God is watching us from a distance. That's just another lie on the devil, right? That the world loves to sing that. From a distance, God is watching us from a distance. God is not watching us from a distance. We have a God who loves us so much that he became one of us so that we could touch him, flesh and blood, that we could experience him. And actual human beings like you and me walk on this earth, talk to him, look him in the eye, were healed by his touch. And then when it was time for him to go, he said, don't be afraid. Listen, I will be with you always, even unto the end of the world. And that's still the same Jesus that says, this is my body and this is my blood. The same Jesus that said, I will never leave you. In fact, it's better for you that I go, because you will receive the power of the Holy Spirit to dwell in you, the Eucharist, where I don't just sit next to you, but I literally come into your body and heal you and touch you and transform you. Do you know, you can read about Moses and Abraham in the Bible. Deep thought, but just simply, Moses and Abraham in the Bible would do anything to trade places with you. Anything to trade places with you. Because you encounter the living God every day. They do now. But on earth, they learned that anything can be you. Anything can be you. We have access to a God who knocks down walls and tears down lies. And the honest truth for me in my life is that most of the trouble that I get into, whether it's sin or whatever I do that keeps me from God, you know, it's obvious the things that are very simple. You can name them. But you know, other things, soccer, music, video games, those can be just as sinful. Not because they're intrinsically evil, but because we allow them to fill the space in our heart that was meant for God. When I was exactly your age, I came on a weekend exactly like this. Everyone got a holy card. I've already got, my sisters gave me a holy card, so if you want one, go ask them, right? So I got, they may not have brought 300, but I don't know. So I got a holy card that said, it wasn't the same. It was just kind of this pretty stained glass window, Catholic church looking window, and it said on there is a God-shaped vacuum in your heart that only God can fill. It's just a modern paraphrase of St. Augustine, our hearts will be restless till they rest in me. There's a God-shaped vacuum in your heart that only God can fill. And it means that whatever it is, whether it's sex and drugs and alcohol, or whether it's music and video games and soccer, if we allow those things to fill the space in our heart that was meant for God, we will never be okay with who we are. We will never be okay with our lives. We were hardwired to seek God. We were created with a space in our heart that is for God, and we will fight for things until we find them. And sometimes we convince ourselves that something is our God, and we don't even know that. We don't use that word. But we convince ourselves that this is our God. And Jesus is not afraid to tear down that lie, because that lie almost always ends with, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not successful enough, you're not athletic enough. It always ends with a lie. All those things end with a lie. And the only thing that ends with the truth is that we let God be God in our life. My daughter, and I told her I was going to pick on her because I don't do a lot of talk for women, and she's the only teenage girl that I had to raise, praise God. And so I had one girl and two sons. I'm not telling a lie. One girl and two sons. She was my oldest, but she went off to college. She's the oldest. She drove away, and I looked at my wife and I said, well, 1/3 of our children and 2/3 of our drama just drove off the driveway. And so that's the truth. When she was in high school, she started dating this boy a little bit, and I didn't move her date anymore. And then he graduated, and all of a sudden they started dating again, and that was just not okay with me as a dad. She was a sophomore, he was in college now, and I'm like, this is enough. This is enough for me. And so, I'm really a crafty dad, so I mostly was able to achieve that end without ever saying it to her. I just made it impossible for them to be together. And then when they got harder, I had to tell her, I'm not cool with this. And then she said, okay, Dad, okay, which was cool, She did take a sudden interest in our youth group, when I said no. And so she started going to youth group every Sunday night. She said, well, great, we're turning the corner, we're moving in a different direction. I've been a youth minister my whole life. You're way ahead of me because you're a girl, okay? I'm a dumb guy. I actually believe almost everything you guys say, and now I know that's I shouldn't. And so, I was home one day, and she came home, and I said, well, how was youth group tonight? And she's a child of a youth minister. So she told me this awesome youth group night. Like, wow, what a great night you guys had. And then she walked away and just stopped playing to me. I'm like, that was so perfect. That was almost too perfect. I mean, maybe that's what happened tonight. But the next Sunday, I just to satisfy my curiosity, I thought I'd just drive up to the church and make sure her car was in the parking lot for youth group. Lo and behold, it was not there. Okay, it was not there. And she's telling me she's in youth group, but she's not in youth group. So where is she? Okay. So there's luckily our town isn't big enough for there to be too many places, but we are bigger than this, which is everywhere. And so there was a little shopping center with some restaurants and stuff. So I kind of drive through the shopping center, and I don't see anything, but that's the only place that you can go really around. And I'm just about to leave, and there's this little parking garage. It doesn't even deserve the name. Three-story parking garage. And as I'm leaving, I noticed there's one car up in the parking garage with the lights on. And I thought, I'll just drive up there. I'm sure it's not her. I'll just drive up there, right? So I drive up there. It's getting dark, and there is my daughter in the car, in the front seat, kissing the boy that she's not allowed to see. Right? So I did, this is very dad-like thing. I turned up my lights, and I came and got nose to nose with their car, and then I turned on my bright lights. Right? So I'm sure they thought I was a police officer for a second and scared the heck out of them, which made me very happy. And okay, so then when I turned my lights down and I realized it's me, he got out of her car, shut the door, got in his car, drove off. She turned and drove home, and with me behind her. Okay, so I follow her all the way home. She's in the road, I'm on the road. She pulls in the driveway, I pull in the driveway. She's already in the house. She slams the door, right? I go in the house. So she's headed up the stairs. I'm like, wait a minute, come down here. We need to talk. And she said, Dad, I can't believe you don't trust me. That's what she said. You can explain this to me later tonight. Like, you can't, of all the things I thought you were going to say, that was not one of them, because that was the stupidest thing. I'm glad I didn't trust you because you were not trustworthy. So we had this huge fight in the living room, that ended with love, but angry love, and she went to her room and we all thought through, but here is what I learned from that. First, here's the funny thing. She's actually married to that guy today. Okay, so there's that. I know. I almost didn't tell you that part. Okay, I almost didn't tell you that part. Right. And he's okay, right? I like him now. But at the time, he's in college and she's not. It wasn't okay, they need to wait a little bit. All right, so, and they did. They didn't literally a decade later. So it's not like that was Romeo or Juliet or something, right? So off. But we've had many conversations about that, and many conversations about life, and what it means, and how it is to somehow navigate. I think there's a reason that you ask someone who's 70 years old about their memories in life. So many of them are in high school. So many of our memories are always being in high school. And I think it's because you are literally discovering who you are right now. You are literally an adult in a very real way. You're making adult decisions today. The minute you get a car and you drive off, you're making adult decisions today. And two things come to my mind. Where is your worth? And I'm going to write a book about this because I made this up on the plane yesterday. Okay? And my daughter and I have actually given this talk together. I wish she was here. And this is my reflection on what she shares. This is not what she shares. This is my reflection. Ultimately, look at the decisions that you make in your life. Are they because you value yourself? Are they because, let me say it the way I wrote it. Are they because you value yourself? Are they to try and give value to yourself? What do you think about that? The decision that I'm making, if you're ever making a difficult decision, if you ever feel guilty about something, if you're ever facing a hard time, are you doing this because you value yourself? Or are you doing this because you're trying to give value to yourself? And I've been a youth minister my whole life. I've sat with a million young men and a million young women who have done things they wish they hadn't done. Sometimes it's with a person of the opposite sex, sometimes it's because they're getting arrested, sometimes it's because any number. I have seen it all because we're in the hospital, because we did something stupid and we had a car accident. And I can boil down every bad decision that I ever saw someone make. Not because you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But did I do this because I value myself? Or did I do this to try and give value to myself? Well, I did this because I really wanted them to think I was cool. I did this because I really wanted them to say I love you. I did this because all of those things that someone sits in front of me and regrets is because, not because they value themselves, but because they were trying to gain value. And I'm 100% sure that I can tell you that not only will that lead you to some place you don't want to be and to be a person that you don't want to be, but I'm 100% sure that the tragedy and the heartbreak and the hurt in our life usually becomes when we try to give value to ourselves instead of letting God do it. We have to let God do it. I want to sing a song to you. This is the song I was going to start with. I wrote this song in a car. I wrote this song sitting in the car, okay? I was supposed to get out and have coffee with a friend of mine, and I couldn't get out of the car to have coffee because I was riveted by this radio interview on a Catholic radio talk channel, very mostly boring, grown-up, but there's good stuff on there. And this guy is interviewing a young woman, older than you, 20-something. She, I don't know, if there's something tragic that can happen to a human being, it happened to her. If there's a bad choice you can make, she made it. She literally said in the interview, rather than tell you what I've done, I would just say you can think of a dangerous, scary, illegal, degrading thing that a 25-year-old girl can do. I did it. And I did it because I felt trapped, and I did it because I was alone, and I did it because I felt like I had nowhere to turn. And her story was so riveting. And then the guy that was interviewing her said, how did you ever change any of this? How did you, like most people never become. And she said, well, I just woke up one morning and I remember thinking, surely God has something more beautiful for me than the things that I'm choosing. I'll never forget that one. She said, I woke up one morning and thought, surely God has something more beautiful for me than the things that I'm choosing. And I literally sat there and I did on my steering wheel, singing into my phone, and wrote this song. And it's kind of it's a fast song, it's not a slow song. But if you hear the words, hopefully the words are good in their own right, but if you hear them, it's freedom from the chains of addiction and of fear and of trying to find our worth and place it in human things instead of letting Jesus be worth in our life. Hopefully the song means more. It goes like this. Though we are lost and gone astray, gain rewards and pass away. Seeking all that this world can give, but inside we know it's true. They find you more beautiful, more glorious, more alive in the sky, more victorious, you more free, and all we can be more yesterday. They find you more beautiful, more glorious, more alive in the sky, more victorious, you more free, and all we can be more yesterday. Hey, it's been a blessing and a privilege to be able to talk to you. Thank you very much.